Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another Kickstarter critique, where I take a look at a different crowdfunding project every weekday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. First and foremost, quick shout out. Apologies on yesterday's show having absolutely just terrible audio quality. I found out that one of the cords that goes into my microphone was not properly plugged in the back somehow. Fix that, and so now this should be good to go. I tested a little bit earlier, but please let me know if you have any other audio issues. As always, when they first happen, because that's super helpful. So I appreciate everyone letting me know that yesterday. But today, I am checking out the project that was on the front of the Kickstarter critique yesterday, which is another big red box. There's currently two big red boxes on Gamefound right now, Berserk and the Asylum, and I'm extra interested in Below the Asylum. The reason being is that Below the Asylum and Heroes of Might and Magic, the card game, both had 31,000 Kickstarter people or Gamefound people who were signed up. Thank you for letting me know the sounds good, Yogi and Zero. They 31,000 people were signed up pre-launch for this, and I'm excited to see how they did different ways. This one's at 922,000. This one's at 55 million. But the thing to take consideration is this is a big box game with miniatures, and this one is all cards. But Below the Asylum, it's from Awakened Realms. Action horror board game where elite agents battle threats in a haunted asylum. Sounds like a lot of other games I've seen. Looking at the main image, nothing about this sets itself apart in any way, shape, or form, except for, hey, there's cats. But it is Awakened Realms, so they don't really have to do a lot, because this is their website. If in case you forgot, Awakened Realms is Gamefound. Gamefound is Awakened Realms, however you want to do it. And look at this. Gamefound, Awakened Realms themselves knows that putting more than one thing here is stupid. Why don't you fix the system then, Awakened Realms, and make it not auto-scroll? Make it so that I click the button and then it goes to the left or the right. Not that it just all goes to the left or right willy-nilly, especially if I just happen to pause the stinking video because I got whatever. Anywho, $1.2 million has made this one successfully funded. But let's check out Below the Asylum, the campaign trailer, and see why people are convinced they need it, they want it, and how much it was a good price. Let's go. 2 minutes, 121 seconds. Okay.
Some places should be left undisturbed, but we don't control fiends who revel in agitated areas full of echoes of suffering. Our role, agents, is to put such places to rest.
Okay. So
Below Asylum is a fully cooperative, one-shot survival horror experience. No traitors, no campaigns, just you, your team, and the unknown perils. Your credo, agent, is to protect humanity from the horrors lurking under their beds. You are the veil that separates reality from madness. Should you fail, the world will crumble.
Wow, this looks incredibly generic and like 100 other games I've seen. Maybe we could focus on what makes it different and special. This inner board looks cool, though. But other than that, this looks like a lot of other projects that have $45,000 to $100,000 on Kickstarter at any given time so far. I know it's Awakened Realms, so I'm sure there's something different. But so far,
You will explore twin dimensions born of one world, torn apart by occult forces. The surface, the reality is fragile. The below is full of festering atrocities. Protect the first, and try to outlast the other. Choose your companions from a roster of elite agents. Like you, each is tainted with the influence from below, and has access to distinct powers. Build your team and plan your synergies. Adapt your strategy to guarantee success and survival.
Okay, honestly, every single thing about this game sounds incredibly generic, but great. I'm not knocking it, but there's nothing here that seems to stand out except for components, player boards, these dual-layered boards. That looks nice, but other than that, I don't know. I'm not quite feeling it. I'm not swept away just yet.
Your goal is to complete the ritual to seal the wound that split reality.
That looks cool. That looks really
With
cool.
each step
Oh,
you
there it
perform,
is.
You will tap deeper into the supernatural, enhancing your ability.
Well, why don't you put Rondell on the outside in the marquee? As soon as you use the word Rondell, I feel like there's a large group of people like, whoa, Rondell, this is it. You know?
And gaining access.
If that is a Rondell, which I'm pretty sure it is. It's a mechanism, by the way.
The time is running out.
It's basically that you put stuff on the board, and then the board will spin, and then when you come back to your turn, the board will be different, and the thing will spawn, and it's awesome. Good places, all good.
As the monarch, the personification of Below, is approaching. The
Big
monarch
one.
is the ultimate threat, unpredictable, feeding on the past horrors that people did in this place. It grows and mutates. Do not let it outpace your progress, or you will be doomed.
Oh, Oh my gosh, there's a big bad monster chasing me in this big bad monster game? What a shocking revelation. I get it. It's a nice fancy mini that looks like cool out of Stranger Things. Moving on, please.
All of us.
Okay.
The veil is thinning. Will you dare to enter below?
If this were not Awakened Realms, I don't think it's a stretch to say that this would not have $1 million. It felt very much like a lot of other things I've seen on Kickstarter very frequently. But it's Awakened Realms, which means it's probably going to be fantastic because they generally don't put out clunkers. But let's check out their information in case you weren't familiar. I mean, the Can You Do It is essentially tied to, do you think Gamefound will be here when this is supposed to ship in a year and a half? And if you do think that Gamefound will be here in a year and a half, then yeah, the Can You Do It is pretty good. Because, yeah, they made 6 mil on Agricola, 12 mil on Lands of Everything. Yeah, they're good. They're fine. They're fine. But I will say, look at all these numbers. 1, 6, 3, 12, 5, 5, 4, 200 for that one. What the hell is that thing? 21, 5. This one has to, and obviously it hasn't shooken out yet. It's 20 days left to go. But I'm curious to see how they are, if you ask them, like, blunt honesty, is this on the low end, the high end, or just about right of what you thought you would have on this? I'd be curious to see what they'd say. I'm going to guess it's right about where they were expecting. And I'm going to guess that I'm going to be more impressed down here somewhere. $339, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. I was just looking at, what was it, the game that I absolutely adore. I love it. This the cooperative one, super difficult one. It had a $500 all in. And it was just, it's just, how can you do, and in this one, it's like $339, and that's, like, that looks like a okay deal. Like, I know that box is huge. Those boxes look pretty big. That doesn't feel terrible at first glance. Once again, Awakened Realms is able to produce things at massive, massive quantities. They're able to lower the price and pass it on to you, so kudos for them. Below is a fully cooperative one-shot action horror board game where 1 to 4 players take on the role of lead agents confronting unspeakable threats that lurk beneath reality. Blah, blah, blah. Your theme, yeah, scary stuff. That looks great. I want to play that game. A true co-op where the nerves and sanity are pushed to their limit. Wow, what a terrible quote. And I don't put that on Not Board Gaming. I put that on them for like, that's the one. We got to put that. We got to spotlight the fact that, okay, you said in the video, it's not semi-cooperative. We get it. When you say it's cooperative, I don't just naturally assume it's semi-cooperative. I don't know. This is a bad quote to lead with, I think. It doesn't do anything. This Lovecraftian horror game blends elements of Stranger Things, Constantine, Silent Hill, Alone in the Dark, Hellboy, and more. Cool. It doesn't even say the game's good, by the way. You realize that that quote in no way, shape, or form does anything to tell you about if they enjoyed the game or if the game was, cool mechanism. Just, hey, you want to know about the theme? That's your second quote. Your second quote is telling me about your theme. Does that feel like a good use of your time? If you feel like that's a good use of your time, then you probably have done a very poor job of showcasing things to be up to this point, because I could have inferred that very easily without that quote being there. That feels like a god-awful quote. Both of those. Just why are you leading with those? I'm sure there was so much more juicy nuggets. Those feel terrible. It feels like a non-Awakened Realms thing there. Yuck. In retail, you'll easily pay twice the price for the core game box and stretch goals. Save $160 below the active agents. Save a bunch of money. Thanks for not converting the currencies, even though you know the majority of people here are going to be from the United States of America. Lazy. But your website does it for you, so I can't really knock you there too much, because the website will do it, but still. You know where the majority of people are going to back from. Stretch goals, free for each pledge. That's great to know. So the price is just $95. How much is that in my money? I think that's like 110, 105, 110. It's not bad. Not bad for a big box. Okay. Plus the stretch goals, free for each pledge. And that's the stretch goal box. Wow, that is the stretch goal box? Oh, so we're doing the phony baloney stretch goals? I don't care, as long as I can see them. New agent, vote for new agent, secret expansion, and more. Okay, at least you have this here, so I don't have to do stupid song and dance. I can watch the gameplay video, see if it's fun, and then see if I want to splunk down 340. More details of the stretch goal will be revealed during the campaign. Leave your feedback now and help us shape below. Click to see full presentation. And I hope they're not doing that stupid thing that they do quite frequently of saying stretch goals when they actually mean updates, because those are different things. I've harassed, oh, this isn't even a quote, it's just H.P. Lovecraft. For the mind of the person who did SETI Tea Garden. Okay, so immediately, I feel like this should have been spotlighted before this. If I just go through here, especially if I just think it's useless information, oh, an H.P. Lovecraft quote, I might have missed that. That's great. Lead developer. See, this goes back to that video. I feel like that video was so much just wasted potential. I feel like you need to let me know that the guy that developed SETI, designed SETI, made this, and the lead developer of Nemesis and Retaliation, because those are some games that will move the needles for people. We were never meant to, whatever, theme. Dual world map, that is cool. True co-op survival, tactical ritual system, elite agents, face the monarchs, there are plenty of the theme. I want to play it. Oh, wow, okay, so 90, the standard edition's only 59? Wow. That's very reasonable. That makes you look really good, too. Nobody's getting that, but it's still an option. If I only want to spend 67 on this, 80 with shipping or whatever, instead of 340, it's there. Awesome. Love it. Good stuff. I'm going to go third point grade bump up on that. Most people don't take the time and effort to spotlight that, and I feel like they did. That didn't look like just an afterthought there. And now we're just kind of into a bunch of random miniatures and plastic and stuff. I just want your gameplay video. I want some quotes that actually tell me some useful information aside from the theme. I'd like a how to play video. I'd like a rule booklet. I'd like shipping information. A lot of that's going to be down here. But just this feels like, yeah, this is cool. Moving on. Yeah, bunch of stuff. Bunch of crap. Most of it you probably never play with. Sit on your shelf. That's not insulting to the game. I feel like that's what I'd say about most big boxes. Alright, so the grand right, 1,744 people. The below the Asylum core at $70. Man, that don't feel bad at all, especially with that stretch goal. And as a result, they got 422 people there, almost a 500 print run. Not bad for your basic pledge. And then the deluxeified basic pledge, pretty much 871. Very nice. Okay. Then we have the first oath pledge, which looks like everything minus whatever those are. Okay. $201. Wow, so those things must be very nice if they cost 100 extra bucks. This pledge includes the special edition core box, all stretch goals, agent dossiers, 3D trade pack for the core box, plus the stretch goal set, and the, oh, it's an art book. Ick. So what is different about the Great and Right pledge? What am I missing here? It's everything we offer during this crowdfunding campaign, except for the standard edition of the game and standard edition add-ons. Okay, but what's different about this versus the, a metal poster? Okay. Now I see why they didn't. I can kind of actually see why they're not spotlighting that nearly as much, because I feel like there would be a large chunk of people like, wait, what am I paying extra money for? Because it feels like crap you don't need. Art book, metal posters, playmat sets, are they at least functional? They look functional. At least I'll give them that. Individual playmats for each agent available during the game and a central modular mat to organize shared decks. That one actually feels pretty nice. You know, the how much is it once I actually looked at that pledge feels pretty not great if you're not into art books or metal posters, which I think would be a lot of people. But all the other pledges are there. Like, I could go get that retail one for a very decent price. They got the stretch pay. Everything looks great here. And yes, let me fill you in on this, Gamefound. I know you run a crowdfunding website, but these are not stretch goals. These are unlocks. You even put it right there. Now, I might sound like a jerk if there's a stretch goal section down below, but I'm guessing there's not, because they don't understand the concept of stretch goals, and they use the term incorrectly, and I will continue to slap it back in their freaking face like Dikembe Mutombo. You're not moving the industry standard. They're different things. They're drastically different things. Stop saying they're the same. Every 2 days we'll have an extra stretch goal that we added for free. Yeah, that's not a stretch goal. That is, say it with me, an unlock. So stop lying. Liars. Just clip that part. Yeah, it is. It's because it's a lie. It's a lie. There's no stretch goals. This could plateau. There could be no money that came in for the next 2 days. There could be a global apocalypse for 2 days. There's nothing. And you know what? they're gonna still have that thing for you in 2 days, so it's not a damn stretch goal. Game prompt preview, a true co-op where your nerves. Oh wow! Thank you for putting that same god awful quote back here, so I can be annoyed by it once again. But at least we have a preview. That's good. The perfect blend of dark horror theme and challenging game mechanics. Once again, I don't put this on Peter. Why is that the quote that you went with? What do you got to say about the game? I tell you what, those game mechanics were pretty challenging. Oh yeah? Anything else? It had a blend of dark horror theme along with it. Well, thank you. Thank you. We'll be sure to put that one on the box. Like, what are these quotes? I was imagining my seat all the way through. Okay. That one feels like 1/3 of a really solid quote. This is a deeply thematic, tense experience. I get it. Demanding, intricate, and consistently tense. A game that treats cooperation not as an operation, but as the only way forward. Okay, now we're actually getting some meat here. If you don't cooperate to your fullest potential, you will die. That's what you're trying to tell me by slapping me over the face with true co-op over and over and over again. Well, this person, JD and Chris Dicing, JD and Chris, just did it with one sentence, and you could have done it as well. This game dials up the necessary thinking and coordination to a new level. All these quotes are pretty much saying the same thing. They're like, horror, never change a game. This one is for you. These quotes are bad. The push and pull between above-below worlds was exciting. Chasing the ritual ring seals added a slick layer of thematic strategy, which is a lot of fun. Okay, Adam gets it. Or I don't even know. I don't even know who to blame at these points for these bad quotes. You'll feel them. I just assume it's always the person who typed it out here and that other people aren't giving these kind of quotes. You'll feel the pressure and tension as the game progresses. Yeah, this feels like a quote that someone ripped out of here and, yep, we're done. Like, I legitimately want you to take a step back and think about the amount of time and effort put into this quote. Because I like to look at these little tiny details, and there was not a lot. I'm sure they said a lot more useful information that would be useful to you, to me, to informed buyers all over the gosh darn world, and instead we get this garbage. You'll feel the pressure and the tension as the game progresses. Okay, first and foremost, that's 1/3 of a good quote. Secondly, you have already told me that pretty much at least 5 to 10 times. Stop it. Just stop it. And I just assume that this is probably you telling it to me in French. And by the way, can we convert these? I know you're very lazy when it comes to converting currencies, but at the bare minimum, your English speakers would love to read this because you know there's a huge chunk of it. And I'd love to know what this woman says. I don't care what language she speaks. I want her opinion on the game. But I know you couldn't be bothered, Arcane Realms, to do that. Maybe you will for Agricola. Maybe you will for one of these big ones, but not for the Asylum. This is just something we're throwing out here. Ah, man, it's so weird. They put so much polish on some things, and other things like, it's the kind of game that keeps you thinking long after you pack it away. Okay? Different language, got it. And once again, if you're newer to this channel and you're like, look at this guy, this American-centric, he just wants everything and just English, and that's because I look at the numbers every single day on Kickstarter, and the majority of the people who back Kickstarter projects, specifically tabletop games, is 95% of the time going to be dominated by the United States of America as the #1 country. So yeah, if you're making them these stupid little extra steps to convincing me that I want your product, then they just feel lazy, especially if you're making $5, $21, $6, $4, $8 million. Yeah, you made what, $4 million on your last project, and you're too lazy to convert the currency for me? It literally takes about 15 seconds. 4 Awakened Realm titles are among the top 30 best thematic games of all time. I'm gonna guess somebody at the Awakened Realms watched the video, because they did not have that exact blurb before, and that's what I've been trying to tell people to do. A lot of times people will spotlight their number. They think, oh, I can't spotlight my number because it's not high enough. It's like, well, then why don't you look at it how it is rated thematic, or as a children's game, or as a family game. You can pigeon the information that you want. Pigeon wasn't the right word there. You could also probably pigeon things as well. 12th, 22nd, 25, 28. That's fantastic. I'd put it up higher. And I'd also mention that some of the peoples that were involved in these games were directly connected to those games. I don't feel like you did a great job of that. But still, you're Awakened Realms. You can do whatever the hell you want. Just like CMON, right? Just like CMON. They do whatever the hell they want. Just like Mythic Games. They do whatever the hell they want. We go back through those old Kickstarters and you start to see things slipping. Now, I'm not saying they're anywhere near this because they are not. But just saying, cross those T's, dot those I's. It's not hard. 24, 26, 38. Thank you for not converting. Once again, so I wasn't expecting it, but you know, second half of 2027, and we're looking at wow, not great, not great for the standard edition. 30 euros. Ooh, ick. That feels just like a slap in the face. You remember when I complimented them and gave them a third of a point grade bump up for how they actually spotlighted their core pledge standard edition, which most people don't do. Most people just treat it as a complete afterthought. I'm taking that away. I'm taking that away when half the price goes to shipping, especially when I know it's not full of minis and it's full of freaking cardboard, and you're just bending me over a barrel. Because if you expect me to believe that Awakened Realms does not have the logistical capability to bring a better shipping price to the United States of America than that, well then, you and I beg to differ. And I will leave it at that. We've shipped 600,000 games, yet we still need to charge you 30. No, it most likely is what they're doing is they're subsidizing that cost into the big one that they're hoping to get with the stupid metal whatever god thing. And it was a good, you know, and I'm not even going to dog them on that much, because at the end of the day, if they have that stupid metal poster with some big intellectual properties that people actually want, then they will get even more people to pump that money out without having to hide it. Because honestly, at the end of the day, that's kind of what it felt like to me. Kind of like I was like, ooh, what are those things? Why do they equal 120 bucks? And then I found out, oh, they're play mats and a metal thing and an art book. Yeah, no thanks. Updates, FAQ. There is no FAQ. Everything was answered. You have no questions. Oh, there are. It just doesn't tell you the number, like Kickstarter. Will there be a pledge manager? Can I use a different currency than Euro? I can search through the FAQ, so I'm not going to complain about anything because that's a great feature Kickstarter should have copied 4 years ago. They should have just had a long time ago. What's this video? What is on? This is so much information in this update. What are we in here? Day 1. Welcome to the big stretch goal. It's not a stretch goal. Okay. The setting trailer. Available languages, stretch pay. Great. What's the stretch? I don't feel like the stretch pay was really mentioned as well in that pledge area. And not like criticizing. It's just I feel like that's one of those things that could totally be done better. I've seen a lot of companies really do that better, and I feel like they didn't. Like, I feel like there's companies who totally really spotlight, like, okay, here's what it could. Here's the lowest price you could get for this. And I feel like that would be something they probably would want to do, especially if they're trying to sell me a bunch of stupid crap I don't want, like art books and metal posters. Or stupid crap I do want, but really no, I should not be purchasing because, you know, that extra $120 could be the all-in for another really fun card game that's probably could be better than this one, right? I think about it like that. Sorry if I missed this elsewhere, but are the translucent parts, the cats of that one age, it's still translucent blue when you see the sun drops. If you're reading this, go vote for Design 1 and Update 4. Sorry, I'm a bit confused, my bad. So this comes with one scenario, a bunch of them with different setups. There's the replayability with the Monarchs. At the moment, within Core plus Stretch Goal, there are 2 scenarios. Really, I'm just trying to see what kind of customer service they're doing in here. They are getting so many comments so fast and furious, it's going to be hard to tell, but I'm sure they've probably popped in here today. Pathfinder? Yeah, Pledge Master. Cool. Yeah, and once again, I'm not too worried about the customer service type of thing there. So do I want it? No, I don't think I do at first glance, but I eventually got there. Once you stopped trying to just show me plastic and you showed me cool mechanisms and cool components and dual layered boards. And once we got into the campaign and we got into some more details, it looked like a fun game, especially once I saw the track record of the people who created the game. As for you spotlighting all that, I felt like you did a poor job. I felt like it really was I had to sift around, I had to look around to find all this instead of you just shotgunning it right in my face right from the jump. Also, excitement-wise, not a lot of excitement here. I guess some voting, which is always good, but, you know, update, stretch goals are exciting. Unlocks, not as exciting. And that's just the way it is, right? Like I'm not trying to insult unlocks. They're much safer than stretch goals, but they're just less exciting. So yeah. Do I want it? Yeah, I got there. Can you do it? Yeah, I'm not worried about that. And then how much is it? Let's have a talk. Because that's a really complicated question. The Grand Right Pledge, no. I'm out. I don't need all this extra crap, especially just stuff I don't. Like an art book, a metal poster. At least the playmats. Are there. but 1,700 people, that is the most popular pledge. They disagreed. This one right here, this is fine. $70 jumps up to a... Okay, I take back everything on that $30 shipping. I take back everything I've said my entire life, because at the end of the day, I forgot about this massive, stupid stretch goal box, which they're lying about, because it's not a stretch goal box, it's just an extra box of crap they're going to slowly unveil as the campaign proceeds. But when I factor in the fact you're getting 2 boxes and not just the one, 30 still doesn't feel good. But 100 for those 2 boxes doesn't feel terrible. And it shouldn't with Awaken Realms, right? We go to this one, it's like 150-ish. That feels very reasonable. 230-ish, very reasonable. And then this, it's fine too. Yeah. So how much is it? Doesn't feel terrible. So final grade should be good, right? I think it's just I'm grading it on a curve because I expect more out of Awaken Realms, right? I just do. If this were a second edition of a very beloved action horror board game that they were bringing out, I just feel like there would be an extra layer of polish and shine and organization, and it's just not here. I'm normally like with Awaken Realms projects, I am just, oh my gosh, so like I love them because I get to be a part of it. Like, oh, this looks so fun. I want to see the stretch goals. Like the stretch goals on Puerto Rico don't even get me started. That was fun, and I didn't even back the project. This one doesn't feel fun. It feels like another generic game with nothing unique setting it apart, aside from the fact it's from a really, really beloved publisher and designer, and I don't know, it just didn't hit the mark for me. I'm gonna go with a C. Yeah, C. I think it's reasonable. Those quotes were hot dog water, though. Just whoever was in charge of the quotes, I'm just saying. Accountability. Ask them why they chose those quotes. I would love to hear the answer. Did you feel it was really necessary to pound the same specific points down their throat over and over again with the quotes? Did you really think it was the best play not to translate the quote, which would take you no time at all? There's these amazing websites like Google and Yahoo that would do it for you. And it's just, I don't know. Feels like it was pooped out a little bit compared to their quality, right? Compared to everybody else, different story, but Awakened Realms, I just graded on a bell curve, so we're going with the C. Unimpressed. I'm sure it's going to be a great game. Below the Asylum, let me know what you think about it in the comments below. And your thoughts. Did this one get you captivated with the wit and whimsy? And am I just being an old grognard? Does it really matter if you call it a stretch goal or unlock? But for me, they're different things. They're different. They're different. Don't call them the same. And once again, I do apologize for that god-awful audio yesterday. It was so bad. It was so bad. And I listened. It just never got better.